Hey, good to see you. So today, I wanted to talk about the take recorder, if I even remember where it is. I've used it once or twice, and I know it's pretty powerful. The way we're going to use it is we're going to record our character as we play, and then we're going to spit that out as a sequencer file and an animation sequence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new level, just probably an open world. That way it's as big as I want it to be. We're going to play. New world needs new settings. World settings. Where are we? Game mode. I need to change it to my project. Whenever I change projects, I get these errors. But I don't worry about them. Okay, there we go. Now we can run. Okay, now let's look for the take recorder. I think it's in here, so I'm just going to take. Okay, so I'm in window. It's in cinematics, and then there's a take recorder. Okay, so let's confirm Windows cinematics. There we are. Take recorder. I'm going to dock that just right over here on the side. And then what we see here, I guess we could open a sequencer file if you wanted to. But I believe like this will kind of create everything for you. I just don't know where it's going to do it. So let's just roll with it. It's going to be your scene names. I think you can change this. Do run. We're still looking at the runs. I guess I didn't explain that. What I'm going to try to do, let's take a step back. We're going to actually, of course, I'm failing to remember this. Need to open this APP before I start hitting record, because this takes forever. So what we want to do is modify our APP to just have a run forward in our blend space. And then what we're going to do is, because of the aim offsets I have set up, if you run at a certain angle and you're turning your mouse at the same time to look a certain way, it should give us something that looks similar to the run diagonals that I've created um, in the previous videos for sprinting or for running. But we're going to come to our blend space here. Okay, here it is. We're just going to duplicate it. And then once we're done, we're going to actually, we'll just use this one, and I'll need to change the APP. So what I want to do is I'm just going to delete all these. There's no way to marquee select. Too bad. Okay, we're just going to delete all these other animations out. So these are all of our directional animations. So now we're just going to have forward movement, running, and sprinting. So we're sprinting and we're running. Okay, if we go to our AVP, in our blend space, we're going to use the one that we just created. So we compile. Now if we play, that's weird. Okay, so if I run diagonal, so this is a forward left. So you can see it in the corner. I'm pressing W, which is forward, and A, which is left. But it looks like, right, I'm looking right. So I'm looking at like the camera position. So I'm always going to be like, that'll never not look like that. So it kind of looks like the run diagonals that I've created. So if we do forward right, we get that same thing. But now we're looking over the left shoulder. So if we go some of my wonkiness with my pivots, I need to fix that at some point. Okie dokie. We're gonna go back to this take recorder. We're going to play in the selected viewport. We're going to add a source from actor. We're going to add our BP base hero, little player character here. And we're going to hit record. 3, 2, 1. Now we're running. And now we're running left. And then we're going to stop recording here. And then it's going to ask us to save the selected. So it saved a run, a one animation sequence, and it saved out our BP, the actor that we were tracking, and it put the suffix there as run 01. Let's save selected. Ooh, failed to save. Following assets failed to save correctly. Let's see if run 01 saved. Ah, well, there they are. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to stop playing. We are going to open up our level sequence here. So Shift Alt O, run 01. We're going to browse to that location because I have no idea where to put it. The cinematics takes and then the date. And then we've got our sequencer file. We've got another sequencer file. I guess maybe like one is nested in the other. And then we have our animation. I don't know why they save out 2 versions, but let's click on that. So you can see that like we've got our animation just recorded from the game. It has all of the information that was playing on those anims, notifies, animation curves. So you can see how like we're playing that. This would be the what animation is that? Run start. That distance curve starts going up and then goes back down. Interesting how that works. And then I guess that's a stop right there, playing that distance curve. And then we have all of our foot plants. So let's see, when are we looking and moving left? There it is, right there. So that's what we want, essentially. So we're still moving forward, but we're just looking right over our shoulder. So what I want to do here is go back to the sequencer file. And yeah, it has that nested sequencer in it. It has like everything that was part of our BP. So if I were to open up that BP hero player, and we've got our arrow wall, and then we have our arrow wall here. Got our character mesh here, follow camera here, all that sorts of stuff. Our physics control, funny. What else does it have? Ground line trace. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So it has components and all the meshes. And then there's the recorded animation there. So we can see that we're starting at 0, 0, 0. And then we can see when we've got this kind of nice banking curve here. You can see like the motion. Interesting. Like I don't feel that camera move while I'm playing. That feels pretty harsh actually. Because like You can see how the capsule moves, and then there's no, I don't think there's any, I don't think there's any lag on the camera or like when the capsule rotates, because it looks like the camera is staying in lockstep. Yeah, like however much the capsule rotates. You can see it here, like these arrows actually point it out, but there's the capsule. That rotates pretty hard. What is that, like at 22 degrees? Oh, there's 45 degrees right there. Interesting. Okay, so we've got our forward left there. And it's great too because it even looks like we're moving forward and left. And we're looking, whoops, and we're also looking straight. So we're not looking, I'm sorry, we're looking over the right shoulder. Okay, what we want to do now, I guess one thing I want to do and what I want to try is a new sequencer file. Add a new level sequence. I mean, it's not necessary, but I don't want to clean up all this stuff. Or was it cinematics? Takes. There's the animation. We're just going to save that as a new sequence. We're going to add our player character to the scene. So skm grow girl. We're going to move her to 0, 0. There she is. We're going to drag her into the sequencer file. We're going to import, let me close the screen. We're going to import that run 01 animation. See what that looks like. So it's in place, so there's no root motion there. Let me try something real quick. We're going to go to run 01. We are going to check to see, there we go, force root blocks. We're going to turn that off. I'm going to try these two different methods. So we're going to go to animation, run 01, bring that back to 0. Huh, interesting. We're literally at our player start in this file. Okay, so that part is where we want. So I want basically 111 on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click, bake control rig, bake down to our animation rig. See what that gives me. Okay, so we have this guy lingering behind, but our root is going with it. There's our root. Okay, so where were we? If we look at our root animation in our curves, we can see what we want here. So we can kind of see where at what and at what point we want to take over. I'd say 105 there is probably fine, but let's go 110. I'm just going to delete everything from 110 before 110. So let's get rid of that. And then, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to move it however long we're going, and all we need is like 2 cycles. So, and what I mean by that is, if I draw, if our foot is hitting the ground, so this is the, hopefully, let's say, this black line is the ground here. So our foot, that's our foot, is hitting the ground there. There's our little hips and our torso. We've got our arm, and we're running. So our foot is hitting the ground there. At some point, this foot is going to come back. I'll draw it in a different color, actually the same color. This foot is going to catch the weight here under the body, and then at some point it's going to be in the back position, and then it's going to lift off the ground and kick off. So when this foot comes back to this forward position, that's our loop and that's our cycle. So this is going to be our left foot because we know that we want to start our animations with left foot forward. The reason why is that I just like to match everything up. So if we go to wherever it may be, locomotion unarmed, we go to our run forward because we're just pretending right now that this is all we've created. We can see that we're looking for that position right there. Not necessarily where we're on the ground, but the left foot is in its most forward position. And then the cycle ends, so like the right foot comes, and that's half the cycle. Right foot comes forward, the most forward position, comes down, catches the weight, and then kicks off. And then now our left foot is back into that most forward position. We run that, that's our cycle. That's what we're looking for here. And all we need is one good cycle. So I'm just going to delete everything after 218 here, just to clean this up. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and delete our animation out of there too. Move this over. And now we're going to try to find that foot position. I can lock this in. There we go. Okay, so that's our right foot forward. We want our left foot forward, which is going to be probably this one right there. Don't delete everything before that. And then we want our left foot forward again. We can do one of two things. We come back to our run. If we look at this, we know that it's going to be on the 14th frame if we're on frame 0. So just 14 frames later. Or you can eyeball it. Because I do actually have like IK foot planting playing here. That might modify like what the leg positions look like. It may not be true exactly to the animation, how it was authored. So we're thinking it's going to be frame 14. It's a little slower. Let's say it's this one, frame 17. Oh, I know why. Because this is 30 frames per second, and I animate at 24 frames per second. Oh, I wonder what happens if I drop this down to 24. So there we are, yeah, frame 14. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to delete everything after this. And now we're going to have our cycle. And I'm not going to clean this up, but I am going to set a key right there in the last frame and delete that one. So now we have our frame, line that up. Now we have our cycle. Huh. I wish I had noticed the head, but I think what we can do, because it is on the animation, it might be like little mouse movements. I might have been moving the mouse. Let's make sure we're getting an almost crash. Okay, I'm pressing the wrong buttons here. Weird. I'm pressing my hotkey for this button here, and it's not working. Okay, anyway, I wanted to see what axes we should be adjusting, and it looks like the z-axis. So we go back to our curves, z. I'm just going to move this down. So this should be, actually what I want to do too, is I want to get this root motion on a different layer. So we're going to say layers, add those to that layer. We're going to come back to the base layer. I'm going to take our animation, what order we check these in. Copy that. Paste. If there's a key, I guess you can paste. Paste. And then on this one, we're going to do the same thing. Actually, it should be the exact same animation, but let's see here. Copy. Going to set a key. In the curve editor, we're going to paste. Set a key, paste. There we go. And then what I want to do is delete it from the base layer. So the base layer won't have this animation on it. I'm going to delete that there. And another thing I want to do is try to get it back to 0, 0. So we aren't out here at like 500 or something. So I'll just take these here, set them to 0. Same thing with our root. Take the locomotion and set it to 0. Our object, hit F to frame it. Oh, did I scale something? What happened? That is pretty funny. Let's just meet this layer, see if I did something weird. I guess I did. There's something in that other layer. Yeah, it looks like I scaled something up to 2. Where did it go? Let's look at the scale here. Set this to 0. Oh, I guess I'm scaling on this layer. Let's select these, go to the scale, set to 0. And then let's go to our animation outliner base. So I know that we can select the correct ones. We're in our base layer, anim details. We're going to set this to 1 on our scale. There we are. Now we're back to normal. But still, I want to take these on our anim layer, go to, they should be the exact same because they're literally doing the exact same thing. So on Y, I want to take this number, that first key, and then just subtract by that number on the entire curve. So minus equals that value. It should get us back to 1. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. And then I'm going to do the same thing on x. This is our x value. And since that's a negative number, I want to do plus equals that number, but then take out the minus sign. And okay, that gets us back there, back to 0. All right. Now we have our animation as if we would have made it. We have some other issue here. What are we doing? It looks like we're getting our rotation the way I kind of expected it. That's, huh. Looks like I did something to the rotation too. Did I set that to 0? Guess that's probably where it should be. 0. There we are. Now we're moving like we should. Okay. Now if we wanted to add this here, and you can move all of this information to our main controller. Paste that. And that moves that. Then we would have to remove the animation from these controllers. We just 0 these all out. And, oops, 0. 0. There we are. And now we've got our root motion on our other layer. So now we're kicking that up. So let's drop that to, notice this shift whenever we turn the layer on and off. So we just want to get rid of that little movement right there. Okay, now we have our root motion turned off because we have it on a layer now. Just rename this root. So the other thing I want to do is hide like some of this information here. Player start. Select all these and move them up out of the way. Just get them out of here. Okay, now we should be able to work on this. And just because we're doing this really quickly, come back over here, isolate this curve, rotation. What we're going to try to do is actually see where we are here. So that's looking forward, it looks like. That one's looking forward. So if we just delete those, so we've got some compensation on the Y rotation. So which one did we keep? Kept this one. I'm going to put it on 7, snap it to 7. Then we're going to keep the one that's closest to 7, just snap it there. Delete everything else. So it's a little wobbly. Let's see what happens if we move it. Looks like it's getting wobbly back over here. And we can just correct that if we add another key. Rotate it back. And it's doing the same thing a little bit over here. So just kind of rotate it back a little bit. Looks like we're still maybe moving a little, rotating a little bit too much on Z. Let's bring that back here. Clean this up on the Y. Okay, I can live with that. Can you live with that? It wasn't for free, but we've got a little forward left animation working. So what we want to do is now export it out, turn the root motion back on, go to sequencer, bake animation, we're going to go to anims, locomotion unarmed, and we're just going to call this test run forward left. Export that, and let's see what it gives us. Oh, let's see here. Where am I? Oh, there we are. I think the first thing I want to do though is save over that test one forward left. So save as. Actually, let's just check it just to make sure there wasn't any export errors. Okay, looks good. Let's force the root lock. Okay, nice. Now we're going to, because we don't have, one of the things I want to do is get all the curves and all the notifies in there. We're just going to open up our run forward, save as, our test run. So we're going to have all our notifies now and curves. And then we're going to come back here to sequencer and re-export. So I want that name first. Let's copy that name. So bake anims, locomotion unarmed, save over and export. Now that animation is updated. Looks great. We're going to go to our blend space. We're going to drag that in here. And I'm not sure what value that is. Is it 730? We're going to copy and paste. We're going to put that at 730 at -45. And then what we're going to do is copy and paste one more time. Hold shift to snap. And we're going to put that at 1.5 rate scale. And now we're going to play. If we play, we are moving forward. If we go to strafe mode, we move forward left. Ooh, something's wrong. Everything looks right, but something is absolutely wrong. That is interesting. Let's make sure that it is wrong. Go back to strafe. Yeah. Okay, so what's wrong? Let's go back to sequencer, because that'll be where the issue is in how we exported the animation. Maybe we're not moving how I thought we were. Or is there some setting? Let me just make sure. There was no setting here. We kept all the settings from the sprint animation. Oh yeah, that looks wrong. It looks right for a moment, but there's definitely something wrong with it. That's interesting. I wonder what it is. So everything looks right. Oh, this is what it is. Our root motion should not be rotated. Okay, so if we rotate our root motion, our root bone, we're going to rotate the capsule. And when we force it back to what's the setting called? Force root lock? Yeah, force root lock. Then that's going to take that rotation out of it, and it's going to do those weird things. So we go to, let's check the base layer first. And select our root. We do have some rotation on it. We want to get rid of that. So we go to our curves just to make sure there aren't any other keys and zero that out. Ooh. Huh. If that's zero, looks like we're moving the wrong way anyway. So we're actually moving right and forward, not left and forward, even though this looks like a left forward. So we got to fix the direction that we're moving. And then rotate. Yeah, that should be a negative 45 there. So we're going to move that to negative 45. Now we're moving the wrong way, so we're just moving the wrong way on X. So what we can do is go to our X curve. For translation, we're going to delete everything in between. Set this as a linear key. We're going to take this value. Whoops. Take that value. Just that one. Then we're going to get rid of the negative number. We should be moving in the correct direction now. Alright, so that should fix our root problem. So let's export. Grab the animation name. Bake animation sequence. Anims. Locomotion unarmed. Okay, so let's look at it. The first thing I just like to get in the game and run with it. So we're in strafe mode. Oh, it's working. We're moving forward left. That is fantastic. So from here, you can see that we created a brand new animation just from recording ourselves in the game. That's great. I mean, that was a fantastic process. So let's go over here. There's a bunch of little quirks in there about like how the root is offset and getting everything back to the um, zeroed out for your animation rig, but like that wouldn't be anything that we wouldn't have to do in Maya. So I wouldn't call that a flaw in the system. I just say that that is just how the system works. So let's fly. Yeah, move a little bit faster. So I'm just trying to get over here and check like foot planting and stuff. Okay, nice. Well, that was fun. I'd say like the process to getting to it was kind of meandering, but we got good results. How long is this video? 40 minutes? And it's probably not, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is you could probably take your run forward animation and create a new animation out of that really quickly, just with like layering. Um, and you know, we did that process, so you can check out one of my previous videos when we're creating the sprint forward left and sprint forward right. But like if you don't have those chops, or like you got something from Marketplace and you just want something real quick, but you want to go through this process and screw around with the control rig, then I'd say it's definitely a viable process. Like it's not perfect, but that's great. I mean, the results are fantastic. So however you want to go about it, I'm just showing you like another way, and maybe it works for you and maybe it doesn't. But anyway, at least you know it now, and I know it now a little bit better too. So that's a good thing. Okay, happy animating out there. Good luck in your journeys.